In this video, I want to show you how to use the NetKey application with your Stream Deck. NetKey will allow you to define a keypress to be sent over the network to a receiving application, and that application in turn will send that keyboard shortcut into a desired application running on that computer. So to get this working, first we're going to install the Stream Deck plugin. You just download that, double click on it, and it will install this new category called keypress. And when you open it up, you'll see the two things inside. You'll see NetKey and SendKey, and they're both very similar. Let's drop them both on to take a look. In both cases, you're going to give it an application name. This is going to be the program's internal name inside of Windows. I'll show you how to find this in a moment, where you will direct your keystrokes into, and then you'll have the keystroke you're going to send itself. Now for SendKey, all you need to do is enter that information, and it's always going to run on the local computer that you're running the Stream Deck on. So if you just need to run it over local applications, you can use SendKey. The NetKey application wants those same things, except it also wants an IP address of the computer that is going to be running a program called NetKey Server. We'll take a look at that in a moment. We can use that to receive the keystrokes and then send it into an application running on that computer. So that will require this extra field. And this is the one we're going to focus on in the video. Once you see how this works, you can apply the same things into SendKey. So let's get this one set up to do something. So first of all, we need to get the IP address of the server, then an application we want to send the data into, and finally the key press. So let's take a look at the server running on another computer. So here we are on another computer, and I've got a few things running already, but the part we want to focus on right now is this window in the upper right corner of the screen. This is the NetKey Server application. You're going to download this as well. It doesn't have to be installed, but it does require the .NET 6 runtimes. And if you don't have these installed, it will direct you to install these things. But once you've got it up and running, you'll see this little window appear, and there's a few things in the menu, and it's also got a IP address. So the IP address, that's what you're going to type in on the NetKey server right here. We will type that IP address in here so it knows to direct its traffic into that location. Then we need the application name. So as a quick example, let's say I want to send something into Notepad. So I'm going to go launch Notepad. So it's running. Here it is. And I need to get the application name of Notepad. Now, it might be what you think, but it also might not be. So there is a little option inside NetKey Server under the File menu called Application List. And if you run this, a window will appear, and this has a list of all of the applications that have Windows that are running on your desktop. So we can see a few in here, and there is Notepad. And if you can't figure out which one it is, then probably what you'll need to do is either like close the window and hit refresh and see what disappears, or run it again and hit refresh and see what appears in the list, and then you can identify the name of your application. But in the case of Notepad, it's as simple as Notepad. So that is going to be the application name that we want to enter. So let's go do that. So in here, we'll type Notepad, and then finally, it's going to be the key press. And if I want a qualifier key, so let's just say as a quick example, I want to send the letter A into Notepad. I can put that. If I want it to be a Control A, I can click that, or a Shifted A, or an Alt A, or maybe I need a Control Alt for that application to respond. You can choose whatever options you want in there. And now if we go back and take a look in here, I'm going to press the key on my Stream Deck, and you'll see that the letter A just appeared inside Notepad. Now, the nice thing here is that the NetKey Server application is going to try to bring whatever application it needs up to focus to receive that keyboard shortcut. So if you have multiple applications running, this will bring that window to the front to make it respond to whatever keyboard shortcut you put in there. So let's take a look at a few of those running on our Stream Deck. So we can see on our Stream Deck, I have a couple sets of buttons here. These buttons over here run a program called Live Text, and this is sending things like page down, page up. There are a list of keys that you can go down here where it's this MSDN send class keys, where you can get non-printable characters like function keys and arrow keys and stuff like that. They're surrounded in curly braces. So those are all things this is going to use. And these are using Alt commands with the page up or page down to work. And then this goes to a different application, which is called NDI test patterns. And you can see this is just sending arrow keys. So now that I have that up and running, let's go back in here and look. And I'm going to send something to NDI test patterns, which is currently in the background. And I'll tell it to go up. And you'll see that test patterns came to the foreground and it moved up one option, and I can go back down or left or right, whichever way I want to go. And you can even see in NetKey server, it tells you what it just did. And now let's send some commands to live text. So I'm going to go to, let's say, the next title, and you'll see that live text comes to the front and it just went to the next title for the title editor. Let's go to the next one again. The next one, let's send this one to live, and you can see it just got pushed into the live output. One last thing I want you to be aware of is that there is some feedback inside the Stream Deck's buttons when you press on them. So just to show you this, I'm going to press the up for test patterns, this one right here. And you'll notice that when I press it, you can see it flashes green. That means that the NetKey server found the application in question and it was able to send the keystroke into it. I have the button up here that I've already programmed for Notepad, but if you recall, I've closed Notepad already, so it's no longer running. Let's press that key and you'll see it comes back red. That lets you know that the keystroke was not sent into the application because of some reason, typically because it's not running. It could also be because NetKey server is not running at all. There you'll get an exclamation point letting you know that there is a problem. So there is some feedback, so you can be fairly confident that your keystrokes have been properly processed by your destination application.